Battle of Trafalgar, 1805. The clash that secured Britain's rule of the seas. Introduction. A war for control of Europe image. In the early 19th century, Europe stood on the edge of domination by one man, Napoleon Bonaparte. Having conquered much of the continent, Napoleon's final obstacle was Britain, an island nation protected by its powerful navy. To invade Britain, France needed control of the seas. Standing in his way was Britain's greatest naval commander, Horatio Nelson. Napoleon devised a bold plan: unite the French and Spanish fleets, lure the British Navy away, and seize control of the English Channel long enough to launch an invasion. The combined fleet, commanded by Pierre-Charles Villeneuve, gathered near the coast of Spain. Meanwhile, Nelson pursued them relentlessly across the Atlantic and back. By October 1805, the fleets finally converged off the coast of Cape Trafalgar near Spain. The fleets prepare for war. Image: British fleet, 27 ships. French-Spanish fleet, 33 ships. Despite being outnumbered, Nelson had a daring plan. Traditionally, naval battles were fought in parallel lines, exchanging cannon fire. Nelson broke convention. He divided his fleet into two columns and aimed to pierce the enemy line, cutting it into isolated segments. This risky tactic would bring ships into close combat, but it would also create chaos among the enemy. The battle begins, October 21st, 1805. As the British fleet advanced, Nelson raised his famous signal aboard his flagship, the HMS Victory. Open quote, "England expects that every man will do his duty." Close quote. The ships sailed directly into enemy fire. Cannons roared, masts shattered, the sea filled with smoke and splintered wood. Close combat and chaos image. Nelson's strategy worked. The British columns broke through the enemy line, isolating sections of the French and Spanish fleet. What followed was brutal, close-range combat. Ships fired devastating broadsides at point-blank range. Boarding parties clashed with muskets and swords. Entire vessels were disabled or captured. The Franco-Spanish fleet fell into disarray. The death of Nelson. Amid the chaos, tragedy struck. Admiral Nelson was shot by a French sniper from the rigging of the ship Redoutable. Mortally wounded, he was carried below deck. As the battle raged above him, Nelson lived long enough to hear the news. Open quote. Britain had won. Close quote. His final words reportedly included, open quote, "Thank God, I have done my duty." Decisive victory image. The outcome was overwhelming. 18 enemy ships captured or destroyed. No British ships lost. The victory shattered Napoleon's naval ambitions. The planned invasion of Britain was abandoned. Aftermath and legacy. The Battle of Trafalgar ensured Britain's dominance of the seas for over a century, the safety of the British Isles from invasion, the rise of the British Empire as a global power. Although Napoleon would continue to dominate on land, he would never control the oceans. Nelson became a national hero, immortalized in monuments like Nelson's Column in London. The Battle of Trafalgar was more than a naval engagement. It was a turning point in world history. It proved that bold strategy and leadership could overcome superior numbers, and it secured Britain's place as the undisputed ruler of the seas during the Age of Sail. In the smoke and thunder of Trafalgar, the fate of nations was decided, not on land, but on the waves.